I have the fan on blowing on me, so hopefully you can hear me well. And I'm hot because I bought a bottle of pop from 7-Eleven, and then I got home and I realized the bottle had already been opened, so I had to go back down, return it, and then come back up. It's interesting, too, on the elevator ride up, coming back up to my apartment. On the elevator, there was a white woman with a black man, and the black man was a fairly young guy, like maybe an inch or two taller than me, so fairly tall. So I'm guessing he's probably a professional basketball player, because we certainly do have a lot of professional basketball players living in my complex lately, and some of them are really, really tall, so they're obviously pro basketball players. Some of these like black guys that are closer to 7 feet tall, but this guy, he wasn't that tall, maybe an inch or two taller than me. So I could probably be tall enough to play professional basketball here, but I don't play basketball. But you know how it is of people coming over from America or wherever. If you're not good enough to play in the NBA, a lot of those guys that are still good basketball players, they play professional basketball in other countries. So certainly you see that a lot here, and you're seeing it more and more. A lot of foreigners coming in, playing pro basketball. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk to you about tonight. You may have noticed that it's been a little while since I've uploaded, probably at least a couple weeks, because that last video I did was a good video, but it was a very heavy video. That's where I told you about that one guy that on Twitter, he wished death upon the president, and then within a matter of hours, he ended up dying himself. So he really was putting out a signal for death. But what happened is he died, not the president like he was wishing. And I talked about how you have to be careful about your words that you use, and now it's I would think it would be embarrassing for this guy because that's stuck up there on Twitter unless Twitter removes it, maybe for community guidelines violations or whatever, if the family can request. Can you imagine being known for that? Like what a joke it is. But I've noticed that guy has some supporters because a lot of people hate the president, of course. Anytime you have a leader doing something, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's a Roman emperor, whether it's Hitler, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, it doesn't matter. You're going to have people that love those guys, and you're going to have people that hate those guys. And I've noticed that a lot of people have shown support for him, people that also hate the president. And I really have nothing against this guy calling out people and being harsh. If he truly believes that the people that he's saying these things about, if he truly believes they're evil, I actually have no problem with it. And I'll admit, in his mind, even though to me it's probably very twisted, in his mind he believes the president is truly this evil person and he's making the country better somehow. But the question arises, do I do the same thing here on this channel? Because certainly I do poke fun at a lot of people. I do call out a lot of people that I think are doing bad things. And I get a lot of complaints from the fanboys. It's kind of funny, too, how many of them, they say, you're not a Christian because you're making fun of this guy, or you're saying bad things about this person. Well, first of all, the people I'm talking about, they're generally very evil. They're very bad guys. And if I'm talking about someone that I'm disagreeing with, I'm saying he's not a bad guy. This is a guy that I have some disagreements with. But it's funny how they're like, you're not a Christian, and they think that that's going to hurt my feelings somehow. I think they get the idea because of the name of this channel, which I chose the name Bible and put that in because, not because I wasn't even religious at that point. It was just I wanted to give emphasis that what I'm saying is important. So I wanted to give importance that these are important messages. I wanted to give a weight and a gravity to it. And I agree, it's kind of a stupid name. But also I have these books here on display, and people see the Bible. They see this other one that I've had on display lately, and people say, I've seen people that they've commented, and they say, oh, he has the Bible in the background. He's just another hateful Christian bigot. So there's atheists that criticize me as a hateful Christian bigot. There's Christians that criticize me, like whenever I hurt their feelings and point out that someone they're a fan of isn't the best guy. And these guys, I don't mind them calling me a bad Christian. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It makes me feel good, like maybe what I'm doing is actually the right thing, because these guys, coming from their perspective, these guys, they're either a little bit crazy, a little bit nutty, or they're Christ cocks. And I'm planning to do some more in-depth videos about those types of guys, about the types of Christian guys that I don't like, because I love Jesus, and this is more recent. I'm not here to teach you or convert you to any kind of religion. I'm merely a teacher. I'm merely an educator, and I don't even actually care if you take any of the advice, because I'm getting benefit myself by teaching you. It's reinforcing things in my brain. So I'm getting a huge benefit. Whether you want to take any of these lessons to heart or not, that's fine. But this isn't a religious channel by any means. It's funny, I have other types of books here too. I've had this one on display for quite a while with Jay Leno. I like Jay Leno, and I think that's one of the best books that I've ever read. Very inspirational in certain ways. I got my own book there. This is one that I just picked up the other day. That's kind of my obsession, going to cheap bookshops and buying books. So that's the new one. I mainly bought this for the cover. You maybe remember the movie of that. But I'm not here to convert anyone, or this isn't a channel about religion. It's not a channel about politics. I'm not trying to convert you to any kind of political way of thinking. But certainly, it is true that I call a lot of people out and I make fun of them, but I have a reason for doing that. I think if you use humor, it's a very powerful thing, and if you can show people how ridiculous some of these other people out there are, maybe their followers will wake up. I know it's unrealistic to think that that Ben Shapiro is going to sit down with me and have a conversation and find out where I'm coming from. That's not realistic to expect that to happen. Someone like that, or Alyssa Milano. Alyssa Milano just met with Ted Cruz, but of course she's not going to deem someone like me important enough to sit down for. You're going to have to be a congressman or a senator for her to want to sit down and have a discussion. So I know it's not realistic. These people I call out, they're never going to meet with me. They're never going to have a serious discussion about anything. But I feel like I can reach some of their followers, and using humor, I think it wakes people up and it makes them say, hey, gee, this is kind of ridiculous. And if you're offended by calling out people, and these are very bad guys I'm talking about, the people that I call out, they're not good people. They're not on your side. But if you have a problem with me doing it, and especially if you're one of these Christian guys, like these nicey nice Christian guys, these guys, they're usually probably Protestants that are the ones that talk about that get angry at you. These guys, they probably must not like Donald Trump either, because do you really get offended when Donald Trump calls out the fake news media, or when he talks about other politicians that are not doing good things and he kind of mocks them? Does it offend you when he calls Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas? Did it offend you the other day when he called out ABC News for airing fake video, trying to pass off a video shot in Kentucky as something that happened in Syria? Does it offend you when he calls out these fakes? Are you saying, gee, you're not being a nice guy, you're not being a good Christian, you're supposed to love thy neighbor? Well, yeah, you're supposed to love your neighbor, but you're not necessarily supposed to be nice in the modern sense that we think about nice, which is politeness. And politeness is not honesty. Usually to be polite, you have to be dishonest, and loving your neighbor sometimes means saying some harsh things, some harsh realities. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. I know a lot of people think that I've been harsh, and the bottom line is I don't want to be a harsh guy myself. I don't want to be known like that guy that wished death upon the president and be remembered that way. I don't want to be remembered as a hater. I want to be remembered as a lover myself. So I also have to be careful of that myself, but I took a little bit of a break because that video, and I know not many people watch. In fact, that's the least viewed video I've ever uploaded, and I figured it would be because I know how YouTube works. If you have certain keywords, if you just speak them in the video, especially if you put them in the title, it's going to make sure people don't see that video. So it's the least viewed video I've ever done, but it was a pretty good video. But talking about that, it's such a serious, heavy issue, kind of made me not want to come back and do another video on this channel for a while. So hopefully you guys understand, and everything else is going really well. So we'll have some more videos coming up for you. I'm back. I enjoy doing these videos. I enjoy giving you these lessons and philosophies I've learned over life, that if you're in your 20s or 30s, if you learn from this, it can really save you a lot of pain, a lot of money, a lot of heartbreak in your life that can be totally avoided, where you don't have to learn from mistake, learn from an older guy's mistake. So, but if you don't take these lessons to heart either, well, I'm still getting a great benefit by doing them. So I'll see you soon, my friends. And in the meantime, you can check out that last video. You can check out other videos on this channel. But after you watch these videos, may you never be the same, my friend.